What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and we just received a ton of information from the Division 2 about Project Resolve. We also have a new timeline, so this morning I wanted to give you a quick recap of just some of the highlights. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, and we are having a giveaway for a PlayStation 5 to enter. All you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced December 31st of this year. Now, as I said a moment ago, the game passed along a ton of information this morning. This video today is all about some of those highlights, and I will put together individual videos going over certain details, but I did want to throw something together for you really quick. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is the fact that, unfortunately, the story DLC has now been pushed to 2025. It was going to come out at the middle of next year, but now we know that is not going to be the case, and they made it very clear that in order to actually fix certain things in the game that have been plaguing players for a very long time, they truly need all hands on deck. So their total focus is going to be making not only some major quality of life improvements, but also some changes to gameplay as well, which I know a lot of people are going to enjoy. Now, when we look at this roadmap with Year 5 Season 3, that is going to include Project Resolve, a new Manhunt, and an apparel event. We make our way to Year 6 Season 1, continued quality of life improvements, a new Manhunt, and another apparel event as well. Year 6 Season 2, Seasons 2.0, new Manhunt, and apparel event, and then Year 6 Season 3, Story DLC, new Manhunt, and one final apparel event. That is now going to take us to the topic of what we can expect to see right now. Now, we have a 2.5-month test and learn program, and you can see it says the following. We have the PTS Phase 1, which begins in a few days. It goes from December 15th to the 18th. We have quality of life, fixes, balancing, PvP improvements, changes to Descent, Countdown, and the Summit. Followed by PTS Phase 2, January 19th through the 22nd. Changes based on Phase 1 feedback, Year 5 Season 3 gear, weapons, and talents. So we will get to see what that stuff is at that point. Then moving on to February 6th of 2024, that is when Project Resolve is going to be deployed. So all of these changes you're going to see over the next few months that people are trying out in the PTS. That is when the game is going to implement those changes, and that is also when we're going to have the start of Year 5 Season 3 Manhunt, and finally for the rest of the year. The main focus is going to be continued game improvements and balancing, and while I am very disappointed that the story DLC got pushed back, in my opinion, and please let me know what you think in the comments section down below, one thing we always encounter when we have an update, I mean this just happened a few weeks back, is that when the game introduces something else is broken, and I sincerely hope them taking this extra time and really making this a focus over the next year truly gives us the changes that we have wanted to see for a very long time. Now, what you're looking at on screen are all of the categories that are going to be fixed, improved, adjusted, all of that good stuff during this phase. You can see we have PvP, status effects, conflict, dark zone, fixes, balancing, improvements to PvE, global events, projects, quality of life, game modes, new features, and expertise. Now, like I said, there is a ton of information to go over. These are just a few of the highlights, and you can see we're starting with some of the changes the game has made to projects. They say we have made a few changes and additions to completion conditions and rewards to make projects more interesting and worthwhile. The changes will affect the following projects: daily projects, weekly projects including invasion and weekly legendary mission, season pass daily projects, daily and weekly dark zone and conflict projects, weekly descent projects, and weekly summit projects as well. They go on to say that they are planning to introduce a talent rotation feature in Descent and shorten the run lengths to expedite encounters with the Nemesis. Fans of the Summit can also anticipate the resolution of the level 100 XP issue, and optimizations have been implemented in all three modes, Countdown, Descent, and Summit, leading to enhanced stability and performance overall. Another major change the game is making has to do with expertise, and they say that Project Resolve makes expertise upgrades more easily attainable to ensure the cost of upgrading are in proportion to the benefits gained. Our intention is to prioritize the player's time by implementing this change. Now, in my opinion, this is a change that is going to make a lot of players happy. Many of you have reached out saying that it's just too expensive to do this, and my only complaint is that I really wish they implemented this earlier in the game, as I know there are many people out there who have spent countless hours already getting themselves to expertise level 24, including a bunch of their weapons and gear, and for that you have my utmost respect. Next, my fellow agents, we have some new features being introduced into the game. You can see they say we have made several improvements to the inventory system. We have added a new menu called Tinkering, which combines the features of optimization and recalibration into one convenient location. This menu, along with the expertise menu and the talent/attribute library, now has a separate tab in the inventory that can be accessed from anywhere. Now that is going to reduce the need to return to the base of operations on such a frequent basis. They will also adjust the optimization cost to reduce the expenses associated with upgrades. They finish off this section by saying, additionally, we have introduced the option to directly send an item to the stash with a warning if the stash is full. Furthermore, we have implemented a feature that displays the stash item count when approaching it, eliminating the need to access it to check the inventory. That now takes us to some much needed quality of life updates, and they say we have made some significant changes to the loot crate system in the open world. Loot crates will now scale with the world difficulty, resulting in a higher quality gear and improved stat across the board, particularly in challenging and heroic difficulties. Additionally, we are introducing a new feature that allows players to instantly use their armor kit to replenish 25% of their armor with a 5-second cooldown. And while I know it's not the full insta-heal that we had in the first game, this is definitely a step in the right direction. I know a lot of players are going to be happy about it. They continue by saying, furthermore, we will be implementing a cap on the SHD Watch HP bonus at level 2000 and an increase in the HP gain. From level 1 to 1000, players will gain 30 HP per level and 1 perk point. From level 1001 to 2000, the HP gain remains at 30 HP per level. Beyond level 2000, there will be no additional HP bonuses. These changes aim to enhance the gameplay experience and provide a more balanced progression system. And then at the very bottom, they want to make skill mod inventory management more efficient, so each bonus can only be owned once, and the value of the role updates when a better one is obtained by the player. Moving on, my friends, we now have weapon balancing and gear balancing as well. Now, we do not have the patch notes for the actual changes that are going to be taking place. We will get that once the PTS goes live in a few days, but they made it very clear that their goal in doing this is to increase the popularity of weapons that people don't use that often. And what that means is they are going to be buffing a lot of things out there. We're talking weapon damage, the RPMs, mag size, a bunch of different stuff. And one thing I want to point out really quick on this page, you can see they say additionally, all exotic weapons' third attribute will be reconfigurable. That is something that we have wanted to see in the game for a very long time, so they are finally going to be putting that in. Last but not least today, my friends, we are going to talk about some changes to PvP. Now, as most of you know, I typically do not play any PvP game modes, so if you do, please let me know what you think of these in the comment section down below. Starting off with Conflict, they say our objective is to strengthen the identity of Conflict as the purest PvP experience available in The Division 2 by making it more balanced for all players regardless of the time they have invested in the game. Thus, all agents joining Conflict will have their expertise and SHD Watch bonuses removed. They then go on to talk about the fact that there are going to be much better rewards when you're playing this game mode, and finally, they mention the fact that they're going to be making some changes affecting the spawn area that include the plan to add turrets to all spawn points to prevent spawn camping and forbid equipped items and loadouts from being changed while in Conflict. Loadout switching and individual pieces of gear will only be allowed once per spawn. Again, I do not play this game mode. Let me know what you think of that in the comments section down below. And that, my friends, takes us to the Dark Zone. And as you can see, Project Resolve is going to introduce a more distinct contrast between invaded and uninvaded Dark Zones, allowing players to customize the intensity of their gameplay experience. Their goal is to increase the accessibility to the Dark Zone for a wider audience, while also providing a dedicated space for those seeking a more intense experience. Here are the changes that the agents can expect to see in the non-invaded DZ. The activation time for going rogue has been increased to 5 seconds from 0.75 seconds. The duration of the first rogue rank has been extended from 20 seconds to 30 seconds, and players with a rogue status will be unable to switch loadouts or individual gear pieces for the duration of the rogue status. Finally, at the bottom, they say we also plan to add turrets to all spawn points to prevent spawn camping and forbid equipped items and loadouts from being changed while in the Dark Zone. Loadout switching and individual pieces of gear will be allowed only once per spawn, and as I said a moment ago, I do not play PvP, so please do me a favor, let me know what you think of these changes, and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to start to wrap this video up. As always, I want to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. I promise to keep you updated on everything else going on in the game. That is going to do it for this one. I sincerely appreciate the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.